¿no?
Sí, claro. Ella le gusta a ti, ¿eh?
Me has pegado.
¿Por qué no vienes tú?
Me has pegado en el hombro que me duele.
Ven aquí, ¿no? Para decir tú. Yo creo que todos quieren saber qué nos gusta a los japoneses, que nos digan. A las chicas nos gusta que suki desu, tsukiyatte kudasai. Es muy simple.
Más común, ¿no?
Zutto issho ni itai na. O kimi o mamoru. Y a los chicos les gustaría que una chica le dijera daisuki,
igual, ¿no?
tanoshii, kakkoi.
¿Qué quiere que le digan guapo? ¿Pero eso que es una encuesta también?
Mada kaeritaku nai na, issho ni itai na.
6時まで一緒にいたいな。その後、柏の試合があるから。
Pero一緒にいたいno quiere estar juntos.
Relléname el hueco.
Qué malo, ¿no?
Pero eso es como una forma un poco indirecta de decirle que me gustas, ¿no? Como, no quiero volver tan pronto a casa, ¿no?
A lo mejor no le gusta, pero solo llenar el hueco, ¿no?
Lo que yo he dicho, ¿Sería una buena cita venir a este tipo de parques? ¿O aquí solo vienen niños?
Para los niños, para la familia, ¿no?
¿No tienen colegio? ¿Por qué hay niños en el parque hoy?
No, son solo 3 años por ahí, ¿no? 2 años.
Es como un parque de educación vial, ¿no? Para aprender a circular ya con la bici. ¡Oh! Mi favorito es el que suena, es así muy desinteresado, de Mada kaerita kunaina. Pero en realidad le estás diciendo, ¿no?, que quieres pasar más tiempo con esa persona, le estás diciendo que me gusta. Pero imagino que también los resultados de una encuesta de este tipo dependerán de la edad, ¿no?, de a quién se lo hagas. Porque, por ejemplo, yo cuando estoy en el parque muchas veces con Aren, veo a los niños que sí, va uno y le dice al otro que mira, le gusta este te gusta, a no sé quién le gusta, y cosas así, ¿no? O hay un grupito de niños que intenta juntar a 2 que se gustan, ¿no? Y eso sí que lo veo bastante.
Seguramente ha dicho que me gusta ese chico, pero no pide que se lo diga.
No, ya.
¿Sabes?
Entiendo. No, a ver, lo normal en 2 adultos es que, bueno, parece que soy narrador de un documental de animales. El macho adulto en la época de cortejo. Entre casi adultos o adultos que ya han superado los 20 años, no es normal que se digan así de primeras, me gustas, ni nada de eso. Que eso queda un poco más lejos, ¿no? Ya de la época de estudiantes, entre estudiantes sí que es más normal, pero los adultos lo que hacen es primero quedar, salen a pasear, salen a un restaurante a comer, van quedando al principio varias veces, van teniendo citas al principio, y ya en ese momento, si ambos aceptan querer seguir viéndose más veces, de manera más continuada, ya sí que se empieza a dar por sentado que quieren tener una relación. Cuando ya parece que queda claro que ambos quieren comenzar la relación, entonces sí, se lo declaran directamente en persona. Y esto ocurre precisamente por lo que ha dicho Yuko antes, esa inseguridad que uno de los dos diga que no, al ser rechazado, ¿no?, en persona directamente. Por eso se intenta evitar este tipo de situaciones que pueden resultar chocantes. Y lo que primero se hace pues es un poco allanar el terreno, y cuando ya hay seguridad, pues entonces dar el paso. Vale, y en esa cita, ¿a dónde van? ¿Qué hacen las parejas, ¿no?, cuando empiezan a tener citas? Pues algo muy simple, ¿no? Van al cine o a restaurantes a comer juntos, salen a comer juntos. Esto es muy común, yo creo que en todos vuestros países. No vamos a entrar en eso porque no tiene mucho misterio. Pero hay otro que creo que os va a sorprender y que yo, por lo menos en España, nadie hace eso. Pero en Japón sí es muy común que las parejas vayan a tener citas, salgan a pasear a los templos, a los santuarios jinja. Muchísimas. De verdad que no os podéis imaginar la cantidad de parejas que se pueden ver en templos así grandes, tipo como el de Sensoji en Asakusa, pero hay un montón.
A lo mejor, pero nosotros fuimos a la catedral de Sevilla juntos.
Es que no es lo mismo eso de ir a una iglesia o una catedral, ¿no?, para mirar su arte, sus pinturas, la arquitectura y todo eso. En Japón, por ejemplo, alrededor de muchos templos, el ambiente que hay es muy bueno, es un ambiente muy tranquilo, hay muchos puestos de comida alrededor, hay mucha gente, no sé, hay muy buen ambiente. No es como un templo.
Souvenir, ¿no?
También, sí, entiendo de souvenir. Es que no da la impresión de que estás visitando un templo, ahí aporta más, ¿no? Aporta algo que pues parece que a las parejas les gusta.
O matsuri. Por eso.
Pero incluso en un día que no hay matsuri ni nada, ¿sabes? Está eso lleno de parejas, pero es por eso, por el ambiente acogedor, un ambiente así tan tranquilo que hay alrededor.
A lo mejor pide a Dios que yo quiero ser pareja con ella.
Yo quiero romper.
Normalmente los estudiantes quieren que declaren su amor en la escuela o volviendo a su casa o en los parques de atracciones como Disneyland, ¿no? pero si es de adulto, mejor un sitio muy bonito, por ejemplo, en la playa, al lado del río. O
Ahora estamos al lado del río.
Sí, si es de noche, un sitio que con la iluminación muy bonita. En Tokio se dice que si quieres salir con tu pareja a una cita, es mejor Roppongi Hills, Odaiba, Skytree, Harajuku, Shibuya.
Últimamente
está muy
Skytree
bien.
está muy bien, ¿no?
Sí,
Soramachi.
sí, Soramachi está muy bien. Yo recuerdo que cuando yo era estudiante, algunos chicos me dijeron que me gusta en persona o llamo por teléfono.
Ah, ¿Yuko? Me gusta.
¿Quién llama? Pero después cuando fui adulta nunca he dicho me gusta. Siempre he esperado el chico que me lo diga primero. ¿Y tú?
¿Yo? ¿Hola? ¿Sigues ahí? Es que ¿sabes qué pasa? Yo nunca he dicho me gusta, ni tampoco me lo han dicho. Nunca.
¿Me gustas? No, pero suki desu me ha dicho a mí. Una vez en el puente de Doriana. ¿Eso no cuenta?
Antes de eso, nunca ha hecho falta para iniciar una relación. Nunca ha hecho falta decir me gusta o quieres salir conmigo ni nada de eso. O sea, siempre, al principio siempre hemos sido amigos. Hemos estado incluso meses saliendo juntos, pero sin ser pareja. Y poco a poco hemos empezado a ser pareja, ¿no? Pero eso tiene un problema y es que nunca hemos sabido nuestro aniversario, ¿cuándo es? ¿Sabes? Siempre he tenido ese problema con mis parejas. ¿Nosotros cuándo empezamos? ¿A partir de cuándo empezamos a contar que éramos pareja? ¿Sabes? Porque siempre ha sido así, muy de manera paulatina, ¿sabes? Estábamos como amigos y poco a poco, pues al final terminamos siendo pareja. Ha sido poco a poco. Cuando nos hemos dado cuenta, digo, oh, si ya somos pareja, ¿qué ha pasado?
Entonces tú por primera vez.
No, fue diferente, sí.
Suki desu.
Qué pena que esté el clima tan nublado. Pero a lo tonto, estamos teniendo una cita, ¿eh? ¿Qué va a pensar Aren de nosotros? Mira, aquí a la orilla del río.
Mira,
Después nos vamos...
otra encuesta.
¿Qué te pasa, tío, con las encuestas, Yuko? Espérate, cuidado aquí con el bordillo.
Es que es la única manera que puedes saber ese tema. Dice que antes de empezar la relación de pareja, el 60% de las japonesas no quieren tener o pasar la noche.
Ah, entiendo.
Antes de ser pareja no quiere hacer esas cosas.
Esas cosas, sí.
40% no pasa nada.
Le da igual, ¿no?
Le da igual.
Ah.
Pero dice que hay muchas parejas después de pasar la noche juntos se ha convertido en pareja.
Como una prueba, ¿no? De fuego, ¿no? Como...
Sí. Es que quiere saber, ¿no? Primero son compatibles o algo así. No sé. Realmente no quiere pasar la noche. Más de la mitad no
Sí, el
quiere
60%.
pasar. Pero realmente sí pasa la noche juntos y después se convierte algo así.
No saquen más encuestas, por favor, Yuko. Decid vosotros vuestra encuesta, a ver qué pensáis de todo esto. Contadnos, por ejemplo, cómo os declarasteis o cuál ha sido una forma rara que han usado para declararse a vosotros. Contadnos ese tipo de cosillas ahí en los comentarios.
Si os ha gustado este vídeo,
¡Dale al like! Que he tenido que tirar el trípode. Dale al like. Suscríbete, dale a la campanita que suene. Tolón, tolón cuando subimos vídeo. Y nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. ¡Chao! Nos quedamos aquí teniendo la cita, ¿no? Bueno, ahora nos vamos a comer. Hay gente que nos está mirando desde el puente. Pensarán, vete tú a saber que están grabando esos dos, ¿sabes? Mejor no pregunto. Vale, lo hemos exagerado, ¿vale? Esto no estaba planeado en el guión.
No parejas no caminan así, ¿no? Separados.
¿Creíais que no íbamos a venir a comer de verdad? No es una cita si no hay comida. Lo hemos exagerado, ¿vale? Esto no estaba planeado en el guión.
No parejas no caminan así, ¿no? Separados.
¿Creíais que no íbamos a venir a comer de verdad? No es una cita si no hay comida.
します。指揮官、歓迎会とかないの？わかりました。楽しかった。
Para el canal Japanistic. De hecho, estoy grabando varios videos con diferentes temas que estaré subiendo en los próximos días o semanas, depende de cómo pueda yo editarlos. Allá tenemos el Tokyo Skytree, que parece una nave espacial, y estos días se están haciendo reparaciones, por eso tienen esa área cubierta y la gente tiene que caminar alrededor. Hay mucha gente, familias con sus niños, grupos de chicas en yukata, parejitas que vienen esta semana a visitar el templo antes de que el clima de verano se nos vaya de las manos. Estoy sorprendido, no me imaginaba que iba a haber tanta gente. Qué hermosa vista. El sol está bajando y nos está dando este tono anaranjado rojizo. En este preciso momento tenemos la mejor iluminación para que los videos y fotos se vean épicas. Se ve la verdad que increíble. Quiero parar a tomar fotos, pero nos tenemos que ir porque vamos rumbo a Akihabara a grabar nuestro siguiente video. Este es el mercado de Nakamise y hay muchos puestos de dulces, de recuerdos japoneses, mucho comercio en esta área. Esto me recuerda cuando vendía dulces en los mercados. Llegué yo a ser vendedor ambulante en la primaria y secundaria. Y llegué a hacer donas y venderlas enfrente de los hospitales. La verdad que qué tiempos aquellos. Y en los comentarios algunos preguntaban que si en Japón está permitido vender en la calle, así nada más de vendedor de ambulante. Hasta lo que sé, para vender en Japón necesitas tener un permiso, pero es más complicado que eso. Curiosamente, el otro día leí un artículo que mencionaba que más y más gente de otros países extranjeros residiendo en Japón están vendiendo en las calles legalmente, y esta gente se ha visto en las estaciones grandes de Tokio y Osaka vendiendo dulces, y en su mayoría son personas de otros países de Asia, sobre todo de las Filipinas. En Japón vas a ver gente con su guitarra, micrófono y bocina cantando cerca de las estaciones de tren o lugares con mucho paso de gente, pero vendedores ambulantes caminando en las estaciones de tren o en las calles vendiendo con sus charolas o canastas, no. Espérenme, vamos a pasar a este puesto de curiosidades. Tiene aquí llaveritos de Kitty-chan, que a mi sobrina le encanta Kitty-chan, 550 yenes. Y aquí una muestra de todo lo que pueden comprar una vez que estén por acá o si ya están aquí. De regreso con el tema, estas personas que se han visto vendiendo comida andan con bolsas y se acercan discretamente a la gente, abren la bolsa y les muestran lo que traen vendiendo. Y entrevistaron a algunas de estas personas que encontraron vendiendo y les preguntaron que por qué lo hacían, y algunos dijeron que para hacer dinero extra, y otros respondieron que no han podido encontrar trabajo en Japón y tienen que pagar sus estudios y necesitan dinero para vivir y se han puesto a vender dulces. El artículo decía que es ilegal vender comida en las calles sin permiso porque la ley de saneamiento y alimentos requiere que el producto que se venda tenga la etiqueta que mencione de lo que está hecho, y entre otras razones pues no cualquiera puede preparar algo en su cocina y empezar a venderlo. Se tiene que remodelar el lugar para que cumpla ciertos requisitos y se tiene que usar un equipo especial certificado para preparar lo que se quiere vender. Y hay otras razones como riesgos a la salud. Si tú vendes algo de comer ilegalmente y le hace daño a la persona, pues te puedes meter en un gran lío. El artículo también mencionaba que la gente que tiene cosechas de verduras puede poner su puesto de verduras enfrente de donde tienen sus cultivos, que es una práctica muy común aquí en Japón. Cosas interesantes que encuentras aquí en Japón. Tienen este puesto de verduras donde no tienen nadie que atienda y tú vienes y pues agarras lo que necesites, pones el dinero aquí y listo. Pero al parecer alguien se robó la verdura, no pagó. Tienen aquí este anuncio. Pero estos campesinos no pueden vender sus verduras en otro lugar, solo ahí donde fueron cosechadas. Algo que sí vas a ver son los carritos de camotes cocidos que pasan por algunos barrios aquí en Japón, pero al parecer a partir del próximo año se va a llevar un control y posiblemente muchos ya no puedan hacerlo. También se ha llegado a escuchar de extranjeros en Japón que se le acercan a la gente con una nota que dice: estoy sordo, por favor compra la banderita de Japón que yo estoy vendiendo. Y gente en Japón se sorprende un poco porque no es algo que están acostumbrados a ver, y algunos se preguntan si en realidad están sordos o solo pretenden serlo para que la gente les compre. Estamos ya dejando el mercado de Nakamise. Vamos a tomar una foto del Tokyo Skytree y del edificio Asahi para subirla a Instagram. Si gustan seguirme en mis redes sociales para que vean más contenido extra de Japón y estén al tanto de lo que está por venir en los canales, les dejo los enlaces a mis redes sociales, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, abajo en la descripción. Antes de dejar esta área Sakusa, vamos aquí al río Sumida y ver la Tokyo Skytree, aprovechando que tenemos este atardecer tan bonito. Le podemos ver ahorita la colita al edificio Asahi, que parece, pues, ¿qué parece? Una nube. ¿Ustedes qué creen que sea? Supuestamente es una flama diseñada por un artista francés y se instaló en el año 1989. Y ese edificio, para los que no sabían, es la casa de la cervecería Asahi, que creo es la cerveza preferida aquí en Japón. Al menos eso es lo que me cuentan mis amistades japonesas. Bueno, chicos y chicas, desde aquí me despido. Estaremos subiendo más videos aquí en este canal y en Japanistic. Gracias por haberme acompañado. Yo soy Leo y esto es todo Japanese, conociendo más sobre Japón. Cuídense y nos vemos en el próximo. Bye.
This is a day in the life of a Japanese.
楽しかった。
So in this video, I'm going to show you guys what it's like to work in a Japanese office. This is a day in the life of a mangaka. This is Reiji Miyajima, 34-year-old manga creator, also known in Japanese as a mangaka, living in Tokyo, and this is how he starts his day. He has a wife and kids, but they don't stay with him in this apartment, as he rents this place out as a separate office so he can focus on creating manga, as sometimes he requires complete silence to work. Plus, he sometimes uses this office apartment as a place to sleep when working late, like last night. By design, his apartment office is only a short walk away from his home studio. It's typical for mangaka in Japan to work from their home. In Reiji's case, the first floor of his home is used for the office while the upper floors are for family use. So, first thing in the morning, he always cleans the first floor bathroom. Since his home is also used as an office, it's important for him to provide a clean toilet for his assistants.
Alright, so it's about 6 o'clock in the morning and he's about to come through into the office.
Good morning. You're up so early.
そうですね、大体こんなもんですかね。
What time did you sleep last night?
昨日10時半に寝ました。7時間ぐらいじゃないですか。いつも大体それぐらいですね。
So this is his studio office. All the extra desks are assigned to his assistants who will be arriving later today. He built this house about 5 years ago and had this area designed specifically for his manga studio. It's a bit nicer and more modern compared to your stereotypical mangaka studio in Japan. So he creates the manga called Kanojo o Karishimasu, which translates to renting a girlfriend, popular love comedy Rensai in the Japanese weekly shonen magazine since 2017. Rensai means it's been turned into a comic series in partnership with a publisher. Most of all, mangaka strive for Rensai status as it signifies that the manga is popular enough for a weekly mass audience. But as soon as the manga is no longer popular, publishers will usually cancel the series so mangaka have the pressure to continue to produce and deliver high quality manga every week. Today is Wednesday and it's a critical part of the weekly publishing schedule as Reiji's last full day before he needs to submit a genko, which in Japanese means the final completed draft of the weekly manga, to his publisher Kodansha. It's also launch day for his latest manga in the weekly shonen magazine, so in the morning he usually draws a colored illustration to post on his Twitter account to promote the new release. You draw everything digitally?
でももう結構デジタルな人は増えてるとは思ってて、自分はこっちの方が早いのと割と今風な絵は描けるかなとは思うので。
I heard that many mangaka have trouble making their weekly deadline, especially paper-based ones, but you seem so calm today, so that must make you the fastest mangaka in Japan, right?
ああ、そうですね。多分日本で一番早いと思うので。
So, did you study how to draw?
そうですね。専門学校に行ってここで2年間ぐらい一応勉強はしましたね。一応ってことないですね。教えてもらって。
So he did learn in school, but he believes he learned more and more as he worked with various publishing editors over time. And what was your first paid job, and how much was it?
一番最初の仕事は読み切り会議を通して読み切りがマガジンスペシャルっていう当時の雑誌に載って。
So he says the manga was about 55 pages with a colored title page, 9,000 yen per page, which is about $82, and the colored title page was about double that, which means he got about $4,675. That's pretty good for his first paid job. For those of you who aren't familiar with manga, let me explain how a manga is created. Mangaka start by creating a rough sketch called nemu, which is reviewed by editors from the publishing company who review the sketch in red. Reiji told me that the nemu process takes the most time as it requires about 4 to 5 revisions. Once the editor is satisfied with the sketch, the mangaka draws the final draft called genko, inking the sketch, now done digitally and meticulously adding tones and filling drawings in black.
So this is pretty much Reggie's morning. He gets here at 6 and he just pretty much draws all morning. Very, very simple, but it takes a lot of dedication. And I think the staff doesn't come in until 10, so I guess we'll just wait for them to arrive. So while he's working on his manga, let's go explore a little bit.
Assistant. So how long have you been an assistant?
今年で2年目ですね。
And why are you wearing the same shirt?
これ彼女をお借りしますっていう作品の主人公の T シャツです。
Oh, and there's another one.
とりあえず先生、OK。
Hey, did you hear the assistant call Reiji sensei? Which means teacher in Japanese. It's typical for assistants and editors to call professional mangaka sensei. In Japan, there are certain jobs that are given the title sensei other than teachers, like lawyers, doctors, governors, and mangaka, as a way to show
これ
respect.
が僕の作品です。自己物件の幽霊ちゃんって言います。
はい、じゃあ色木さん、はい、20、21見開きお願いします。和也の部屋ですね。
Now that everyone's here, he instructs each person on what to do one by one, and they share all their drafts in Dropbox, which means that Reiji rarely needs to get out of his seat to work with his assistants. So he usually has 4 to 5 assistants come in every Wednesday, but some mangaka hire 10 assistants on a shift basis. It really depends though on each mangaka and how they like to run their studio. It's also interesting that each of them use different drawing tools. I guess it really depends on each mangaka and what makes them feel comfortable when they draw. Did you work as an assistant back in the day?
でも僕そんなには入ってなくて、一番長くて1ヶ月くらいしか僕入ってないんですよ。いろんな作家さんとか入っていろいろ勉強して、そのノウハウというかやり方、やっぱ本当全然違うんですよ、仕事場によって。作り方とかスタッフさんへのお願いの仕方であったりとか、資料の用意の仕方とか、システムが全然違くて、それ見ていろんなとこ行っていいところを使ってっていう感じで現状を生かしてはいますかね。
So it looks like all 4 staff have already arrived. While they're here, let's ask them a few questions to see how their jobs are like.
How long have you been working here?
アシスタント多分2、3年ぐらい。
How did you find this job?
担当さんに紹介してもらってって感じ。
How about you?
1年目になります。
How did you find this job?
賞をもらって上京しないかって言われた時に担当さんが宮島先生のとこ紹介してくれて。
Do you have Rensai?
今はネームっていうの書いて連載取れるようにやってますね。
So what I'm finding that's different than most offices is that they actually talk a lot of the time while they're working. For some people, that may be the perfect job.
So Reiji's 2 male assistants have actually got the Rensai, and usually when this happens, assistants quit to start off on their own, but both have decided to continue to work with Reiji, which says a lot. But let's see, is Reiji a good boss?
ボスがいいです。いいボスです。言わされてるかな。でも本当にやめたくないくらい本当に居心地いいですね。
Yay! Finally, lunchtime! He often goes to lunch with his assistants, but since it's a nice day, he's gonna take his dog for a walk in the park while also grabbing a small lunch.
じゃあ揚げハムチーズ1つください。
ありがとうございます。
はい。
もう170円です。
はい。
すみません。
So lunch hasn't finished yet. They still have about 10 to 15 minutes before lunch is over. And it looks like all of them are back here. They're using their own free time to work on their own manga.
So, what are you working on now?
これからは原稿の続きをしますね。でもキャラペンって言ってキャラクターのペンがもうある程度終わったので、ここからは自分で描ける背景は描いちゃったりとか、スタッフさんたちに貼ってもらうトーンの指定を入れていく。
I think it's like just a little after 1. They're pretty much going to be doing this the rest of the day until 6 o'clock. So let me just take a little bit of time and explain how kind of this whole mangaka thing works.
Since his manga appears in a weekly magazine, he has a 1-week production cycle. He meets publishers to decide the plot on Monday, works on the final sketch on Tuesday, finishes the Genko final draft with his assistants on Wednesday, and from Thursday through Sunday, he works on drafting and creating the story for the next name, as well as gathering information like taking photos for backgrounds, and then back to the publisher meeting on Monday.
20ページ入ります。1ページ確認お願いします。
はい。鍵ないですね。
Okay, that was the first time he moved from his desk during work hours. You just witnessed the biggest action scene at a mangaka. So what do you advise people to do who want to become a mangaka?
もう今すぐ漫画を描くことですね。
He says that the manga industry is short with assistants, so if artists have a set of skills, maybe that person can contact the publisher or mangaka directly for a job. He thinks it's important to keep trying to submit your manga to publishers or other manga websites like Pixiv, and also to find your own unique strength that can compete with existing popular mangaka. Look, he uses women's magazines as a reference for female characters, and he even pulls out his heroine Mizuhara's outfit from the fashion magazine Ray. Interesting.
So we're reaching the end of the day, and it looks like the manga is actually starting to come together. You can see that the pictures are starting to get filled out, you can see the tone. So they have to actually finish all of it today and send it to the publisher.
Have you and your assistants finished the Genko?
はい、終わります。
I mean, all of it?
もう完全に終わりますね。お疲れです。また後で。はい、また後でね。
Reiji usually goes straight to dinner with his staff after work, but today he has an irregular meeting with his editors, so he's joining a bit afterwards. So instead of having the weekly meeting at the office, Reiji prefers to meet with the publisher at an izakaya restaurant so they can eat and drink while they discuss the next episode.
を一つ。
はい、生を一つ。軟骨の盛り合わせがお一つでございますね。はい、かしこまりました。ありがとうございます。失礼いたします。お疲れ様です。
はい、お疲れ様です。
お疲れ様です。お願いします。すみません、お待たせしました。
いえいえ、とんでもない。失礼しました。お
出た。
やばすげえ、あ、エースが表紙なんですね。そうです。
はい、お疲れ様です。よろしくお願いします。お疲れ様です。年もお疲れ様でした。
はい。
とりあえず先週分がもう割と
大丈夫ですか？
いただいたもので。
By the way, Reiji is sitting at the furthest location from the door, which is called kamiza in Japanese. It's a top seat within the room, meaning the seat of honor, and the seat closest to the door is called shimoza, which is the lowest seat. It dates back to the samurai days when would-be attackers came through the door. Usually the first person killed would be the person closest to the door with their back turned. In Japanese business culture, people still decide where to sit and stand based on this seating rule, and the kamizama and shimoza also apply to car seats and elevators as well. Nice! Reiji is finally finished with the publisher meeting and is now joining dinner with his assistants. Gathering itself is called uchiage in Japanese, which means to drink and celebrate an event. In their case, the finishing of this week's episode. Alright, so that's the day in the life of a Japanese mangaka. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
This is the image that has been stuck in my mind for years. Here I was, below the massive towers of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, and I came across this blue tarp with solar panels on it. This was quite a scene for me. That's because back in Vancouver, where I lived most of my adult life, I was used to seeing scenes like this. Why were the visible homeless I encountered in Tokyo so different? Thus started my search into understanding why the homeless in Japan are different than the homeless in North America. Where I started to find answers was in the research work of Professor Tom Gill.
My name's Tom Gill. I'm from England, but I've lived in Japan for about 25 years, and I'm a professor of social anthropology here at Meiji Gakuin University, Yokohama campus. There are a number of things about Japanese society which makes it a lot easier to deal with homelessness than in other industrialized countries. For a start, the level of drug abuse is much lower in Japan than a lot of other countries. It's pretty difficult to get hold of hard drugs in Japan unless you know a yakuza, a gangster who will supply you. And for the most part, guys who become homeless in Japan don't do drugs other than tobacco and alcohol. Yes, there are a substantial number of alcoholics in the Japanese homeless population. There are also a considerable number of compulsive gamblers. And of course, even if you are getting livelihood protection money, if you spend it all on alcohol or horse racing in the first couple of days of the month, you can still end up on the street. Another important factor is that Japan has a very conservative approach to treatment of mentally ill people who are generally institutionalized. If you look at statistics for mental health, in Japan, you're much more likely to be put away in an institution if you have a mental health problem. We never went through the processes that were called mainstreaming in America and care in the community in Britain, which are both kind of code words for shutting down mental hospitals and letting mentally ill people out into society, and which might have seemed like a good idea. Some liberal people did support that move, but unfortunately there wasn't the backup to follow what happened to these people after they were let out, and a certain number of them ended up being on the streets, and that's one of the reasons why you have a lot of people with mental health issues in the homeless population in many industrialized countries. Then a third factor is that Japan has managed to keep out of wars and conflicts since the end of World War II. So as a result, traumatized war veterans, which are another large component, particularly of the American homeless population, we don't have that in Japan either. Where are homeless people? Urban parks, riverbanks, streets, station buildings, and other buildings. So the kind of archetypal situation where you're walking along the street and you encounter a homeless person is a lot less likely to happen in Japan, because a lot of them are not in that part of the urban space. Most of them do try to keep clean. One of the reasons why they tend to gather in parks is because they generally have public toilets and washrooms there, which helps you to maintain a basic level of hygiene. On the question of begging, it's true that very few homeless people in Japan beg. Far more likely, as a way of making a bit of money, is
Hey, what's up guys? Let me clarify this first of all. When I say dangerous area in Tokyo, maybe not so dangerous actually. This sounds contradicting, right? But when you look at other big cities like London or New York, if you compare with those, even the most dangerous area in Tokyo, maybe not so dangerous. So you can definitely go there and walk around safely, as long as you are not too drunk, not alone, and not too late at night, like midnight. And of course, this is not necessary 100%, although I would say it's recommended, especially if you are female. Having said that, maybe you want to have extra caution in this area. When I looked into the crime rate in Tokyo, one area clearly stands out. Kabukicho, it's in Shinjuku, and this is Kabukicho area. A crime happens 25 times more than average in Tokyo. In this area, you're gonna see a lot of hostess and host clubs, prostitution, and yakuza. But when you actually go there, probably you don't feel dangerous at all. 僕は今、新宿歌舞伎町のメインのストリートにいるんですけども、見ての通りですね、そんなに怪しい感じはしなくて、普通の店も結構あります。In the daytime, probably you're gonna more feel so.
まあ夜来るってこともしくはもう昼間にも遊んだりとかするんで、そんななんか危ないとはもう感じたことはないんですけど、まあ放送を流れたりするんじゃないですか。それを聞くとなんかちょっとやっぱ危ないからそういうなんか放送が流れるんじゃないかなって。
I don't feel dangerous at all here. Every time I come here, it feels especially safe. The feeling when I go out at night, you know, just to a movie or something, downtown LA is more dangerous than here. This I feel very friendly, very open. You know, you can walk anywhere.
So when you go there, probably you're gonna also feel quite safe, and maybe you're not gonna see any crime. But I still want you to be careful in this area. Actually, a lot of crime, even physical crime, which is quite rare in Japan, happens here much more than any other area of Tokyo. As a tourist, you may not see that at all. So let's hear from someone being around here almost every day.
来ますか？あ、よく毎回ここでやってます。こ
の辺って結構犯罪が多いらしくて。
犯罪はあります。
ありますか？
僕当事者なん。
This episode of Weekly Weird News is sponsored by ExpressVPN and Bespoke Post. This year's been pretty rough for a lot of people who have found themselves out of work due to the coronavirus pandemic. But thankfully, back in March, at the beginning of all this, Congress passed the CARES Act, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, an economic stimulus that authorized one-time payments of $1,200 to most Americans, plus an additional $600 per week for anyone receiving unemployment benefits until the end of July, which has come and passed.
Well, the virus is over, so...
Yeah. Obviously, considering how long this pandemic has gone on with no end in sight, really, the CARES Act was not nearly enough, and another stimulus is pretty sorely needed. But it was at least something, and it kept a lot of people afloat, albeit barely, and also temporarily.
Yeah, maybe it would have been a better idea to give $1,200 a month, not 1 month, to people in need, but
what are you going to do? The government said it. It's got to be done, and that's it. That's like
the free market has decided that this virus should ravage this country.
Yeah. We've talked previously about what a bad person you'd have to be to exploit the CARES Act Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP, and that's what handed out big forgivable loans to pretty much every business that applied, regardless of whether their business was in any real danger. But up until now, we hadn't heard of anyone exploiting the unemployment aspect of the CARES Act. Well, meet LA rapper Fontrell Antonio Baines, aka Nuke Bizzle, whose most recent song and music video is titled EDD. Now, if you live in California, you may recognize EDD as the name of California's Employment Development Department, which administers unemployment benefits. So is Nuke Bizzle's EDD about struggling during a pandemic and relying on unemployment payments to scrape by? No! It's about getting rich off those sweet EDD payments.
Yeah. By the way, Nuke Bizzle, the rap game, they're running out of names. This is getting ridiculous. Nuke Bizzle? What does that even mean? Anyway, the video, which features the disclaimer in the description. This video was created with props and was made for entertainment purposes.
Did that say that from the beginning that it was uploaded, though?
I don't know. It also features the official EDD logo throughout the video, and it shows Nuke Bizzle and fellow rapper Fat Wizza living the typical life of rap excess with huge wads of cash, lots of jewelry, and big bags of weed. But it also features Nuke Bizzle and Fat Wizza spending a whole lot of time on their laptops on the EDD website and checking the mail and pulling out a lot of envelopes. And also featuring lyrics like, I got rich off EDD, and you gotta sell cocaine, I can just file a claim. I'm smart and you ain't. That last part might not exactly be true though, because now a little over a month after the EDD music video's release on 9/11 of all days, turns out Nuke Bizzle was literally committing what sounds like some pretty elaborate unemployment fraud and bragging about it in this video. From the Department of Justice, rapper who bragged about unemployment benefits scam in music video arrested for allegedly bilking COVID-19 jobless relief program.
From that press release, according to an affidavit filed with the complaint, Baines possessed and used debit cards preloaded with unemployment benefits administered by the California Employment Development Department. The debit cards were issued in the names of third parties, including identity theft victims. The applications for these debit cards listed addresses to which Baines had access in Beverly Hills and Koreatown. Evidence gathered during the investigation established that at least 92 debit cards that had been preloaded with more than $1.2 million in fraudulently obtained benefits were mailed to these addresses, according to the affidavit. Baines and his co-schemers allegedly accessed more than $704,000 worth of these benefits through cash withdrawals, including in Las Vegas, as well as purchases of merchandise and services. The affidavit further alleges that Baines bragged about his ability to defraud the EDD in a music video posted on YouTube and in postings to his Instagram account under the handles NukeBizzle1 and NukeBizzle23. For example, Baines appeared in a music video called EDD in which he boasts about doing, quote, my swagger for EDD and holding up a stack of envelopes from EDD, getting rich by, quote, going to the bank with a stack of these, presumably a reference to the debit cards that come in the mail. A second rapper in the video intones, you gotta sell cocaine, I just file a claim.
Pretty clear-cut case.
I want to know who took the original Nuke Bizzle Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
He had to create 1 and 33.
Sad. So, if you work for the DOJ, you gotta love when a case just shows up on your doorstep. But yeah, it also says that when Nuke Bizzle was arrested in Las Vegas on September 23rd, just 12 days after the music video dropped on 9/11, he had 8 debit cards just in his possession at the time, 7 of which were in other people's names. So, sounds like they got him. He faces 3 felony charges, access device fraud, aggravated identity theft, and interstate transportation of stolen property. And if convicted of all 3, Nuke Bizzle faces up to 22 years in federal prison. It's still totally unclear to what extent at all the EDD music video played in Nuke Bizzle getting caught. I'm going to choose to believe that it's all the evidence they needed to look further into this.
Yeah, it probably put it gave a lot of attention to the fact that he might have been doing this. Sure.
This is some classic self-snitching. It's a problem in the rap business. We're going back decades.
What was it, Florida, where the guy went out and bought like a $200,000 car? Just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why don't you just skate by for a while if you really want to get away with the crime?
If you're going to commit crimes, like, fucking be cool about it, man.
No, people are like,
blow up your spot.
This is my last chance to do something wild.
I guess. But yeah, whether or not the music video did truly self-snitch on Nuke Bizzle, let this be a lesson to all of you. If you're going to defraud the federal government, Step 1, be rich and white and well-connected. But if not, then step 2, don't make rap songs and music videos bragging about doing it.
You know what could work? The EDD of California.
The EDD won't let me be.
They need to copyright claim the video and take all of the funding, all the monetization.
It has a lot of views, and the likes...
To keep going?
Great like ratio.
So the EDD needs to copyright claim because they use their logo or whatever, and then they take the monetization from the video.
Yeah, it's flagrant trademark, and the DOJ didn't say anything about trademark violations, but
And it would pay back the fines eventually, hopefully.
I mean, $1.2 million.
That's like 1 billion views. It really is.
Well, go watch that video. Give it some more views so that when the California EDD comes to collect from its trademark infringement lawsuit, they'll have more money.
Exactly.
There we go.
And look, we already can hear you typing away or screaming at your monitor. Well, is that a cool crime? The answer is no. It's true that in a more just society, the U.S. government would take better care of its citizens, especially those financially impacted by events out of their control like a global pandemic. That's true. And one reason, albeit a very overblown reason, for why this isn't the case with the myth of the welfare queen who exploits the system to live a luxurious lifestyle off the government dole. And here's Nuke Bizzle doing pretty much that.
Yeah.
But also, it's not so much even exploiting the system as it is just committing loads of identity fraud.
Yeah.
These are all in different names, probably purchased off of the dark web or through someone off the dark web.
Yeah, there were other crimes committed in the process of committing the main crime here.
Yeah, and all of those people have to deal with a bunch of bullshit now because their names are used in fraud.
Yeah.
So no, this is not a cool crime.
No.
It has a lot of victims. Actual victims who, if nothing else, obviously they won't have to pay back this fraud on their name, but it just throws a wrench in their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You check your credit report. Oh, I'm applying for a new apartment. Oh, my credit's tanked? Why?
Yeah.
It's because someone was buying a bunch of shit.
Nuke Bizzle stole my identity?
It's so dumb.
Yeah. But anyway, here's a crime that does have a much better chance at qualifying for cool crime status. An 11-year-old boy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who went on a little joyride last weekend, stealing a school bus and leading cops on a 45-minute pursuit across 13 miles, which ended with the kid crashing the bus into someone's front yard tree. Along the way, he hit 3 vehicles, giving one person some minor injuries. Not super cool, but we'd say that's pretty impressive, considering this was an 11-year-old child driving a 40-foot-long, 20,000-pound vehicle for nearly an hour while being pursued by over a dozen cop cars. Like, how well would you drive in that situation?
Yeah, this must be a tall 11-year-old.
A long boy.
Yeah. The kid also reportedly taunted and flipped off the officers as they chased him, which, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna steal a school bus 5 years before you can even legally drive, why not throw in a little bit of fuck the police, too?
Yeah.
They're not gonna add, like, you're a child. They can't add this on top of the sentence.
Yeah.
And he was rude to us. Of course he was.
Retire, my lord.
Anyways, the unnamed kid is currently facing charges of theft of a motor vehicle, aggravated assault, aggravated flight, and damage to property. But he's 11, so what are you gonna do? Send him to prison? No. Also, how the hell did an 11-year-old gain access to a school bus on a Sunday morning? Probably church.
Yeah, it was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Taking the old ladies back to the care house.
Yeah. How did his feet reach the pedals? I don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions here.
Maybe he taped some bricks to his feet.
Could be. But for now, this seems like at least a semi-cool crime.
Yeah.
And he handled it well.
He did.
He drove that bus quite well.
This kid's got the best street cred of any 11-year-old I can think of.
And no one died, and it stopped because he hit a tree. Kind of best case scenario.
Yeah. You should get to keep the bus.
So that is yours to keep.
It's your bus. You drive it, you keep it. And also, you've already proven you're a great driver.
You're a school bus driver now.
Here's your Class B license.
Yes.
Yeah, that should be his punishment. Now he has to drive the school.
This kid could totally get sympathy if he was just like, officers, I just miss in-person schooling so much.
Oh, yeah.
This pandemic has ravaged my mental health.
Donald Trump would pardon him.
I need the social interaction of my peers. And yes, I stole a school bus, but if only for a second to relive the life I once had, jumping onto this bus each morning, taking it to the place I love most, to study the books that I love.
Yes.
School. 1 + 1 = 2, Mr. Officer, but I wouldn't know that. Not anymore.
You're free to go, son. And
Thank you, sir.
And you can keep the bus.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anyways, yeah, not a lot of news this week, actually, weirdly enough. I mean, we've covered most of the news already last week. It's
This
all
week is-
election stuff.
I was saying to Elliot, like, even with entertainment news for like news stuff, Donald Trump in this election has sucked all of the air out of the news cycle.
It's had a chilling effect on
there's-
everything else.
It's funny. Donald Trump has been historically very funny the
video
last
of him
2 or 3 weeks.
dancing?
Yeah. And
It's so fucking good.
there's a photo of him in church from this weekend where he's like,
Very funny photo.
hey, look, they're praying for me. The man, it's been comedy.
Yeah, I haven't checked to see if there were any highlights from his rally in Newport Beach, where the Beach Boys opened for him, but there's got to be at least something in there.
It wasn't the main
Beach
guy,
Boy,
though, right?
Well, Brian Wilson hasn't been involved. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he's been iced out, like, legally. Mike Love, the front man of the Beach Boys, total conservative, loves Donald Trump, also just...
That's why my last name's Love.
Notorious piece of shit. And Brian Wilson, the brains behind the Beach Boys, is on the record as saying he hates him. So,
Well, I love Brian Wilson.
Yeah,
I've seen him live. He's great.
Genius. Anyways, before we get to the headlines part of the show, because we just don't have a lot of news for you.
Yeah.
Hey, short episode.
It's a short episode.
Some of you have been asking for this for years. So
And now you get your chance.
yeah. This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Question. Which of my online searches does the government have a right to know about? Coronavirus, erotic fiction, drone with shotgun attached, Kellogg's blue waffle. Yeah, I search for a lot of weird shit as part of this job, and I would prefer to keep those searches to myself. So that's why I use ExpressVPN. Without ExpressVPN protection, though, hackers, governments, ad companies, and ISPs all have full access to your data. If you don't want them, through your video searches against you, do what we do and use ExpressVPN every time you go online.
Yeah, ExpressVPN encrypts and reroutes your web traffic to any number of countries, keeping you safer and secure. Simply download the ExpressVPN app, click to connect, and boom, you're protected. With ExpressVPN, you can make it seem like you're browsing from a different country, so you can watch any Netflix library in the world that you want to. How cool is that? ExpressVPN is the fastest VPN we've ever tried. It costs less than $7 per month, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. No risk!
It's time to stop governments and internet companies from keeping tabs on your data. Take back your online privacy like we have with ExpressVPN. Protect your activity today and find out how you can get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/weeklyweird. That's expressvpn.com/weeklyweird for 3 months free with a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/weeklyweird to learn more.
This episode is also sponsored by Bespoke Post. This fall, as we get back into the swing of things, hopefully, Bespoke Post has a brand new seasonal box of awesome collections for guys and folks who like guy stuff, guaranteed to upgrade your life and at least bring you a smile once a month. You get to open something.
Yeah,
It's a nice treat.
A gift for yourself.
They've got boxes that especially appeal to us, like a barrel-aged kit for booze, a cocktail kit, and a very fancy-looking one-hitter kit for consuming legal substances only. But kits also range from travel accessories to tools to hygiene products and more. Whether it's gear to upgrade your autumn craft gear or cozy threads for when the temperature dips, Bespoke Post only sends the best stuff every month. No matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. From style and grooming goods to barware, cooking tools, and outdoor gear, Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life.
Here's another great box that looks pretty damn useful for the months ahead of us as things get colder. The Stocked box, which has all of the medicine essentials that you'll need in case you start feeling a little bit under the weather for a really great price. So to get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right box of awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel anytime. And each box costs only $45 but has over $70 worth of gear inside. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code WEIRD at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code WEIRD for 20% off your first box.
All right, now let's get into the weirdest headlines of the week, starting with New York wedding with 10,000 attendees shut down amid COVID-19.
Yeah, you shouldn't be having big events, but I can't even fathom. What would a 10,000, where would you even hold? You'd have to rent out a actual, sports venue for that.
And not even a normal concert venue.
Yeah.
A ginormous concert venue.
Yeah,
10,000 people is a massive amount of people.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna, they said they were gonna have it in Williamsburg, I think, in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it was a Jewish Orthodox wedding.
Okay, is that what it was?
Well, because they invite the whole community.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
10,000, too many, especially
It's a
during a
lot.
pandemic.
Well, I would just assume like the streets. Sorry, I glanced over the article. I'm so sorry, but I believe it was a rabbi's son, and that's why everyone was invited.
Cool.
And it's like the streets. I'm sure it's like a whole event in the area.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
And they've been doing a lot of protesting against Cuomo recently.
They have. They've been claiming that it's anti-Semitic discrimination that they have to wear masks and stuff. And it's like, well, your area has seen a ton of cases.
The key is enclosed.
We're asking you to
put the mask
please put the mask on and stop holding like in-person religious services and just try.
Yeah.
Just do anything.
Nope. 10,000 person wedding. Let's go.
Cool. Yeah, don't do that. I did see apparently that you know how the Chainsmokers have just become the official band.
They just don't give a shit
of not giving a shit.
Yeah. This would be a perfect time for an actual DJ who hides their identity under a mask to be doing something. Plus, he has a built-in mask. What I'm saying is, no one can give you shit for it in real life if your identity is covered.
Yeah.
It's like a VPN for your body.
I did see this clip I'm about to play of someone driving past a Chainsmokers show.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Are y'all dead ass? Y'all are risking your lives to listen to Chainsmokers? It's a pandemic! It's a pandemic!
Yeah, that's how why you willing to die for the Chainsmokers is so bad.
Yeah.
It's like the shittiest music. It's not good.
It's not worth dying over. And they just keep playing. They got like a fine.
They keep getting busted because you can't do a Chainsmokers show and keep it a secret for long.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's working out for them still.
I guess.
The Flaming Lips did a cool show recently on like Colbert where they put,
Can't place
you know how
that
the
there,
Flaming
my
Lips they
lord.
sometimes have those bubbles
Yeah.
that they play. They just gave everyone in the audience a giant bubble.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I saw a friend
Lions
who
are
was one of
attacking
those
my
drive-in
niche.
raves, like last night. It was so funny because it's like it's in these big parking lots and it's obviously open air, like it's not inside of a venue.
Aye.
It was playing like hard style, which is like boop, 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 like
Sitting in your
super
car,
fast. And like it sounded just like that, and I'm like, I think it was in Ventura because I know that they have a stage set up there, and I'm just like, you could hear this throughout the entire city. It would have sounded like if you didn't know what was going on, like an earthquake or a tidal wave is coming. I'm sure the residents were very freaked out by this, but everyone looked like they were having a good time in their cars. Dodger Stadium, you can watch the games in your car,
Yeah.
which I don't really get it, but it's funny because I listen
See
to
the fireworks, I guess.
as an old man, as I'm leaving here when we filmed, when they've been playing, I've been listening on AM radio. And the other night I was listening when Will Smith hit a home run, and they go, and here come the car horns, and they have the audio from outside, and everyone's just laying on their horns when a big play happens.
Nice.
It's funny.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
needed.
Anyways,
headline.
don't gather in groups, please.
No. Coronavirus vaccine could kill 500,000 sharks, conservationists warn.
That's why Trump refuses to do anything.
He hates sharks.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, if we keep the coronavirus going, it's going to kill half the sharks.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot of vaccines.
A message
So the
from
virus
the
is gonna be
Lion's
so out of
Heart.
control.
My
It's also
banner
need to
will
kill all the
fly
sharks
atop
to
your
get that.
keep
It's
before
some
this day is
ingredient in
out.
sharks that is absolutely
Ingredient.
Well, yeah, it's an ingredient that's found in a bunch of other shit, but you can get it from sharks really easily, and they add it to vaccines, and it stops your body from having a immune reaction or some shit. But yeah, there's like, you want to develop a vaccine for every person on Earth. It's like 8 billion people. A lot of sharks are going to have to die. So they're these shark conservationists, these shark lovers. They want people to try out something else.
Well, look, hey, we've been doing a good job of not doing the shark fins for like 20 years. Now it's time to, we saved a bunch. We can use some for the vaccines, right?
We've been rationing sharks for far too long.
Exactly.
Time for a culling.
Yes. It's just like how the South Park made the joke of like, once Trump figured out that it was actually just minorities dying from coronavirus, he was like, what are we stopping this for?
Yeah. Jesus. Used coronavirus tests handed out by mistake in Birmingham.
Oh, cool. Like the used condoms in Thailand.
Yeah. Delicious. Yeah, used, I don't know how this happens. If you've taken the test, it's pretty standard everywhere, but you rub a swab around in your mouth and you break it off in a
little vial, and then you seal it up, and it's got your information on it and whatnot. Somehow some used ones got handed out to students at some university in Birmingham, and like at least a couple of them opened it up and rubbed someone else's swab all up inside their mouth.
Have you seen that video of like a Japanese digitalization of spread of germs? And it's just showing people talking. It's like, but like the worst is like how it just dribbles out of their mouth all over their like clothes and stuff. Oh my god, disgusting. Next headline: BYU, Idaho, deeply troubled by reports of students intentionally contracting COVID-19 to sell plasma with antibodies.
You've been speculating on this a lot.
Yeah, well, people are fucking paying money.
A lot of money in that young blood.
People are paying money to get the convalescent blood. It's not going to the people it should be going to because, as we all know, it's no secret that America is a for-profit medical industry.
Yeah.
So obviously, if there's some sort of protection out there where people are like, oh, you mean I can pay $1,000 and go hang out with my friends? Like, a lot of people in America are going to do that.
I wonder how much a standard bag of blood you could sell for if you have antibodies.
Buying convalescent blood on the dark web at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
It's a route.
It's got to be worth it if people are doing this on
I
purpose.
smell a new Nuke Bizzle song.
Yeah.
Buying convalescent blood.
Guys, I found a new grip.
It's needed, sire.
Not defrauding the government. It isn't perfectly legal. It should be, but yeah, you just give yourself coronavirus and then
It's a route.
you fight through it for a couple of days. It's no worse than the flu, they say. So.
Literally blood bags in fucking Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to sacrifice the war boys
Needed,
so that the commander can win.
Yeah, don't do that. A lot of things not to do in this episode.
I feel like this show every week is just a list and description of things not to do.
Yeah. Machu Picchu opened up for a single tourist who waited 7 months to see it. A Japanese guy, he landed there in March. God, I've been wanting to see this glorious ancient monument.
I'm not going anywhere. You tell Mr. Pichu that I will wait as long as it takes.
You know how much a
message
from the Japan to Peru cost?
You fight like a man.
I'm gonna wait this out.
I'd rather wait here 7 months and fly back 17 hours.
Yeah, they finally, like, after, I don't know what he's been doing for the last 7 months, but the government of Peru, they're like, alright, only you can come in and go see it.
You know there's some Japanese guy waiting at the gates of Disneyland every day.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Did you see the protest there this weekend?
Yeah. Gavin Newsom, open up my theme park. Police find cash hidden between Bolsonaro allied clubs.
You say what you will. The man makes great.
Yeah. He's the anti-corruption candidate who somehow keep finding examples of corruption, including this guy. I forget the cash in between this guy's butt cheeks, the blue or whatever. Yeah,
we have to keep message. We had to keep it in just send it to the bank. You can wash them off and send it to me. It's like that. Bolsonaro has the upper hand because he knows you touched his allies' ass off. Detroit woman says she woke up to Pastor peeing on her on the plane. I went through a range of like trying to explain this to myself of how this could happen because I read that and I was like, alright, was this person just peeing themselves to sleep? So I thought at first that like it was just a person sitting next to them and they felt it come over.
Yeah.
But no.
No, he stood up and
like treated her cock to eye.
Her sleeping body like a urinal. She was getting directly pissed on.
Yeah, but still, it was apparently sleep drugs, which I can believe.
Well, because even the people involved, they're just like, yeah, he was dead in the face, just like, like didn't respond to command.
I have, listen, I'll admit
taking that shit.
I have been this close at least twice in my life that I can remember of almost peeing in the kitchen trash can.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the middle of a mixer. We've all done it, right?
I think I got drunk enough at one point to something like that. I didn't remember it.
It's a route.
Excuse me, sorry.
You think the thing is I don't know.
I was blackout drunk.
Yeah, we have a story about a mutual friend who peed in someone's closet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but drunk's one thing. But these sleeping drunks, I'm telling you, especially on like a plane, like my friend, when I was flying, working for bands, one of the guys was like, literally, they had to, he didn't do anything wrong, but they had to explain
tie him to the chair.
because he just kept getting up and walking. He didn't do anything wrong, but he wouldn't stay in a seat, and he was just zombie walking around the plane. Didn't know where he was or what he was doing. Yeah, it's terrible. Don't. I've said this before. Sleeping girls, be very careful.
Use Peloton, CBD oil if you can.
It's a route.
Don't take.
If you're gonna take Ambien or whatever, like you gotta do it right, and it probably helps to have someone with you.
New York City architect killed by falling tree. Should have known sidewalks are dangerous, according to city attorneys.
Anything can happen on these sidewalks. These mean
Well,
streets.
you were walking on the sidewalk. What do you think sat right next to the sidewalk? A big stone building.
You're an architect, you know.
You know that sometimes these buildings are a little sketchy, you know? So maybe you should have.
It's a
they literally were like, she was walking on the sidewalk with no protective equipment. Not even a helmet.
It's a route.
It was like a fucking gargoyle fell on this lady from 50 stories up.
Yeah,
She's
this
gonna
is
die
a
regardless.
pretty open and shut case.
Yeah, this is just the city of New York being more wood is needed to this grieving family.
Yeah, it's like them being like, well, yeah, sure. Rick Moranis got punched in the face walking on the streets of New
What do
York.
you
But
think happens on
what do you
the street?
expect?
It's the street. People get punched.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Sorry, Rick Moranis.
If you don't want to get punched, don't use the street. Just stay at home forever. Never go outside.
That's what they want. Those damn libs. This is my favorite headline of the week. Homeless Jesus statue put on bench in Ohio. Someone calls police within 20 minutes.
If you know anything about Jesus, like he
was a bit of a couch surfer.
Yeah. But yeah, Jesus got a lot of great lines about like how you treat the lowest of the low in society. You're essentially, if you're being nice to them, you're being nice to Jesus. If you're being helpful, like Jesus likes shit. So this statue that's been going around the churches in the Midwest, it's literally just a homeless person. They've got stigmata in their place,
you can see the nails,
and it's clearly a sculpture.
Yeah.
So it's funny. Just like, hello, 911. A homeless person exists.
Yeah.
Not doing anything. Literally not doing anything. It's just a statue. Message. Can't do anything.
It would have been hilarious. Oh, Jesus using me! Ow!
Yeah.
He's hitting me! Bring the guns!
He's making threats. Then they just shoot up the statue.
And then the bullets go ricocheting back into him.
Yeah.
He shot me!
The keep is enclosed.
Like, where do you...
It's a route.
You want the cops to come harass homeless people. Where do you want them to go? They have to go somewhere. Like, very short-term thinking.
No. I hate to break it to you, but these people want them to go to jail.
I guess, or like a fucking concentration camp. It's a big, like, Republicans in California when they run for office, like the loser that's running against Adam Schiff right now, all of his billboards are like, California's filled with homeless people. Adam Schiff doesn't do anything. Like, okay, so are you proposing like better social services?
You're sending them to Idaho.
Like, what is your solution to this? Because everything that's like been actually shown to have any positive effect on homelessness is directly antithetical to your platform as a Republican. So what the fuck do you want?
Get rid of them.
We're gonna kill them. Yeah, that's what they want.
Kinda, yeah.
Can't say that.
Man attempting to resurrect grandmother accused of causing $30,000 in damages to Knoxville Cemetery.
Yeah, he really went to town. He didn't just try to dig her up. He was
$30,000
around some sort of he was breaking other people's headstones. It's like a bull in a china shop, except a china shop is a local cemetery where his grandma's buried. Didn't say what his plan was. Like
once she was resurrected.
Yeah, was he gonna do like a?
All right, Grandma, welcome back. You gotta wear a mask though.
Probably gonna give her some of that Regeneron. Bring people back from the dead.
Yeah. It is a horrifying name.
Regeneron sounds like a drug from a dystopian like sci-fi.
Like a Resident Evil.
Yeah. Regeneron. What's the worst that could happen?
Delicious Regeneron. We all eat it every morning.
And final headline. Elon Musk cuts Tesla Model S base price to $69,420. Wow. What a cool 50-year-old man. He did it.
There was a tweet this week. someone like dunked on him so hard, it was great. It was just like, it was something like, oh, do you main Torb in Overwatch? And he was like, actually, yeah. Loser! Something like that. It was just fucking hilarious. Like, he actually responded and this guy just like dunked on him. It was a little bit of humble pie never hurt me. Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
It's just dumb. It's like, who are you impressing with?
Yeah.
Teenagers? They can't afford your car. It's just, I don't know. I can't imagine owning a Tesla. I feel like it would be just a constant, like, embarrassment.
Yeah, no, it's shameful to own one.
Because, like, on paper, they're great cars.
But the guy who's responsible for it is a piece of shit.
The face of the company, literally, they fired their entire PR staff at some point in the last year. So the only way to get public comment about anything is, like, to directly email Elon Musk. He is literally the face of the company now. And he's doing shit like this. 69 Ford.
Not to bring him up again.
50 years old.
Mr. Beast replied back. Well, I guess I have to get one now. Like every time, I'm just like, oh god. This guy does a lot. Look, Mr. Beast does a lot of good. A lot of charity, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, he gives people government money.
Yeah.
That he got from the payroll protection plan.
But he's quickly ascending into an echelon of people that are all very
love you, my lord. Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope that he's smart enough to
guy, I think.
Yeah, he's. I think his intentions are in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. But
we'll wait and see.
For now.
Because I swear he's gonna fucking do something with the army. I can feel it. He talks to them too much on social media.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that he stays in the good place.
Anyway, that's enough weird news for this week. There just was not a lot of it. So, and probably the next week, there's either gonna not be a lot, or it's all gonna be related to some dumb election shit.
Yeah, look, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks left of the election shit.
God damn.
We're trying to get through it just as much as you are. Bear with us. We'll be back with more. We'll see you soon. In the meantime, please watch our other episodes over here.
Your popularity is
There's
rising.
weird news in both of those, because there was weird news that was time sensitive. So just check those out if you want more. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do it, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. This episode of News Dump is brought to you by Feel.
Fake news!
Fake news.
Yeah, that's the rallying cry for boomers and for people who disagree with the news story that, is mostly backed up with facts and studies and insider information, reliable sources, hours of research. But I don't like it. Well, Trump certainly didn't invent the term fake news, but he definitely brought it into the forefront and turned it into a one-phrase argument for anyone to disagree with, regardless of whether or not using it has any basis in reality. But while the majority of people, including the president, who use the term fake news, are typically using it against the story that clearly has some basis in reality, there is actual real fake news out there. We're talking about satirical outlets like The Onion, or our personal favorite, The Hard Times, and their gaming subsidiary Hard Drive. And then there's The Babylon Bee. It's a satirical news site for the right.
Yeah, I've laughed at a couple Babylon Bee headlines, but it's hit or miss. But one is certainly believable enough for some. So on Friday of this week, Trump tweeted out one of the Babylon Bee stories, positioning it as real reporting to his 87 billion followers. The article in question, you had something they know titled, Twitter shuts down entire network for slow spread of negative Biden news. This was in reference to a period of downtime that Twitter suffered on Thursday this week, just before the separate presidential town hall in Central. Service's website was sporadic for a few hours. A lot of features were unavailable for a lot of users. I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, I was like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
What do I do with all this?
Eventually, though, service was restored, and Twitter claims that while they did experience an outage, there was nothing nefarious going on. Quote, Twitter has been down for many of you, and we're working to get it back up and running forever. We have some trouble with our report systems and don't have any evidence of insecurity. So, by hack, this wasn't a fixed scenario again. But no, it couldn't be that the website had just broken like it has done so many times in the past. There was definitely something else going on. A story from the Babylon Bee, which is obviously fake, like, after seeing account after account tweet out one particularly bad story, CEO Jack Dorsey realized he had to take action. Dorsey smashed a glass box in his office reading breaking case of bad publicity for Democrats. Inside the case was a sledgehammer for smashing Twitter.
It's a route.
Okay, fine. I mean, here's the thing. With most satirical websites, people don't share anything.
On the Lionheart.
Yeah, it's literally just
when a king must cower in his castle.
Yeah, there's nothing to tell. Yeah. That's because they fired all their staff.
A message from the Lionhouse. Fine, you can bring down a few buildings. How about a fair fight?
But luckily,
bless the hard drive.
Yeah, the hard drive, and Reductress, and
Reductress
a few other ones. The satirical industry is
safe
for now. Just fine.
But look, like with most people online, regardless of if your satire outlet of choice is primarily
Message
the headline,
from the Lionhouse.
we assume that
So,
Trump really
I
just
am
saw the
vested, and
headline,
my poor
and
bones
agreed
must
with it,
rest
and
in
hit the
these
post/retweet
wretched sands.
button, and then just add a little spice on top of it. Here's what he said. Wow, this has never been done in history. This includes his really bad interview last night. Why is Twitter doing this? Bringing more attention to Sleepy Joe and Big T.
Is that who he calls himself now?
Is he Big T? I wasn't clear on that little part, but yeah, he's very upset that Twitter would bring down its own website, stab itself right in the gut to protect Sleepy Joe from an article that honestly doesn't really paint him in a terrible light, nor do they follow-up articles where he says that he loves his son.
Yeah, there's like text message excerpts of like Joe Biden telling his son he loves him, and I'm just like, oh, this is
your popularity
like this
is
guy.
falling.
Also, I'm 100%
Retire, my
Trump
lord.
never told his adult sons that he loves them.
No, that's why it's so shocking to them. They're like, obviously this is some sort of weird cover-up going on.
Gay? Is it gay to love your son, fellas?
Yeah.
Anyway, please spare us the inevitable comments from people whose argument basically boils down to, once again, saying, he was just acting like an idiot. You've been trolled.
Yeah.
The President of the United States tweeted an easily verifiable fake story that he simply agreed with and wanted to amplify to his base, because just getting it out there is enough to run with, even if we all know the story's fake and that it came from a satirical website. There's absolutely people out there right now who are talking to people and telling them how Twitter shut down because people were spreading the truth about Joe Biden and his cool son hunting.
Yeah.
Did you see the pictures of him smoking a cigarette in the bathtub?
Looks pretty badass.
What a king.
Yeah, and also just, look, despite all of his faults, I love my son is a very weird thing to say is
gay.
Yeah. Anyways.
Joe Biden's gay. Sadly, the Trump defenders, they were quick to log on, with one claiming that this was, once again, brilliant 4D chess from the president. Quote, cue people who think Trump does not know what satire is, as opposed to Trump knowing it is, realizing this will be a self-satire for leftists who want to flip out. Was that from the Stixel 666 account?
Yeah,
it's like a literal fucking Nazi that Trump retweeted a couple days ago. Like, this guy was at one point such a Nazi that he had a Hitler mustache.
Is the screenshot of his YouTube page real?
Like, women won't date me
because of feminism?
I don't know if that's real, but like, the dude, he was like, I don't even know if he's still YouTubing, but he had he was like one of the OG YouTube Nazis.
My brilliant
didn't
4D playing president. You love it.
Yeah. So brilliant, guys. You got to hand it, people. The U.S. would absolutely slaughter the rest of the world if mental gymnastics were an official Olympic sport. No performance-enhancing drugs needed. We're just naturally really, really good at it.
Us Americans, we can do anything when it comes to mental gymnastics. You've never seen anything like it. But look, this is all a moot point, because during his town hall on NBC Thursday night, Trump clearly stated that he doesn't stand behind any of the shit that flows through his Twitter account. When asked about a post that he retweeted that contained a conspiracy theory about Joe Biden and Barack Obama orchestrating a cover-up with SEAL Team 6 regarding the death of Osama bin Laden, Trump just said, that was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
That shit was especially funny because, like, one of the main dudes from SEAL Team 6 that's, like, capitalized on his involvement the most and is apparently not well liked by the rest of the SEAL community because he's being so ostentatious about it. That guy was, like, a huge Trumper, and now he's, like, in this awkward position of, like, wait, no, but we really did kill him.
Yeah, he did come out and say,
sir.
Yeah, and the original, like, the conspiracy theory, it's spread by, like, a QAnoner, and it was basically that, like, Osama bin Laden was dying, and they kept him alive and moved him to Pakistan so that Obama could get a trophy kill. It's
catch and release.
Look, I'm just putting it out there is what literally Trump said.
We're gonna capture this bin Laden guy and release him on our private land. It'll be the most dangerous game.
But it's just crazy that he's like, I don't take a position on it. Yeah. It's like you're literally retweeting it so that people will take this and run with it.
He should put on RTs, not endorsements.
Yeah, on his profile, like
tweets do not reflect
when
the
you have
views
to work
of my
for like
employer,
a public-facing company. Like, sorry, I mean I do tweet for Taco Bell, but when you come to my personal account, the gloves are off. Trump, he knows what he's doing with shit like this. He's amplifying these stories regardless of their basis in reality in order to rile up his base and have them spread the disinformation for him. He just lights the fuse and watches it burn. It's just ironic and incredibly frustrating that he's the one constantly pointing fingers at everyone else for spreading fake news. We're just so tired. Please, bite your tongue, vote for Biden so we can stop caring about this guy. Hopefully. I mean, he did say during a rally on Friday that if he loses, he may have to leave the country. In which case, bye-bye. Bye-bye. I do love the fact that he said that with, like, obviously he doesn't mean it. But even if he did, even if he really meant it, it would mean just like literally without a care in the world, giving up on his entire family, who he clearly does not love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, Barron? Yeah, he'll be fine. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That Trump town hall was wild, by the way.
I legitimately hated the woman sitting behind him that was just going like this the entire time.
All the few people in America that remain as undecided voters are all freaks. They are all fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
Who, like...
They want, like, reassurance from directly from the president.
Yeah, they know...
Mr. President, I love your smile. Can we get a smile, Mr. President? I'm always saying how much I love your smile.
Yeah, they all clearly have, like, strong views on subjects that would align them easily with one candidate or the other. But, you know, they're just holding out to personally ask the president...
Yeah. There's one guy who was like, Mr. President, my healthcare was tied to my job and I lost it. What are we going to do about healthcare? The healthcare is better than it's ever been. Next question.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank you, Mr. President. I vote for you.
Yeah, it was weird. And, the Trump people did not like how
Savannah
Guthrie asked actual questions of him.
Yeah.
Did not like that.
No.
Anyway, speaking of debate or town halls, it's technically entertainment news, so we should say that even we were shocked by this, but apparently the Joe Biden town hall outperformed Trump's town hall in the ratings. Who cares? Well, Trump does.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's not a signifier of how the election will play out in any way, but it's a data point that Donald Trump is obsessed with, weirdly.
Yeah.
So you know that he's probably pissed off.
It's definitely fake news to him.
Yeah. Yeah. The Nielsen's, they were hacked.
Yeah, I don't like that Nielsen family.
Yeah. The nasty Nielsen's. The Nielsen ratings are very nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't believe the U.S. of all places would tune in to watch Biden talk calmly and directly about policy positions and plans of action. His town hall, boring as hell.
Very boring.
Yeah.
He even stayed after the cameras were off to talk to people.
Yeah.
Boring.
This is not a quality assessment. I'm just saying the Trump one was more entertaining.
Yes.
It was a freak show.
Yes, it was.
The Biden one, I'm like, all right.
Anything.
Who cares?
It's literally how people described Howard Stern in the 90s.
Yeah.
I just want to see what he says next.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, people chose to watch Biden talk us all to sleep instead of watch Trump go on a steroid-induced, nonsensical, unhinged dialogue with the host of the Today Show.
Yeah, it was a circus served up on a platter, and America's like, eh.
Yeah, and NBC had it playing on like 3 different channels, so his odds of like winning the ratings war were good, but still lost.
Yeah, here we are.
There we are.
From Variety, Trump's hour-long appearance on NBC, which drew criticism across the industry, and even an angry letter from top talent and showrunners who work with NBC Universal, trailed Biden's 90-minute session with ABC in the ratings, even with the cable news networks factored in. Biden averaged 14.1 million total viewers on the Disney-owned network alone, while Trump brought in 13.5 million across NBC, MSNBC, and CNBC combined. In terms of the two cablers, MSNBC contributed 1.8 million viewers and CNBC just over 700,000, meaning that Biden beat Trump 14.1 million to 11 million in the direct broadcast battle. And I gotta say, as far as what comes on after, you would have thought more people would be watching CNBC because it's literally just Shark Tank the channel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on there. And I love me some Shark Tank. So you would have thought he would have got some free views off of people that were tuning in expecting to see Mark Cuban buy into some special organic dog treat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, the Trump debate's on. For those reasons, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, now for the weekly cleanse. Take a deep breath.